The billionaire who disappeared mid-air, a murder, a mystery, or a master plan. Imagine boarding a flight with the richest man in the room, only to land without him. That's exactly what happened in 1928 when Alfred Lavenstein, one of the wealthiest men in the world, disappeared mid-air over the English Channel. The door was locked, the witnesses were silent, and the Lavenstein gone without any trace. Have you ever heard of Alfred Lavenstein? If not, you are about to dive into one of the most baffling disappearances in the history. One that has kept detectives and conspiracy theorists on the edge of their seats for nearly a century. It's a story filled with money, power, security, and the question: what actually happened to Lavenstein on that flight over the English Channel? Was it an accident, a murder, or something more chilling? This story started with the man who had it all, a man who seemed untouchable, but the way he disappeared without a trace, that would make the world question everything. Let's take a step back in time to 1928, to the case of Alfred Lavenstein. Alfred Lavenstein was no ordinary man. Born in 1877 in Antwerp, Belgium, Lavenstein was the son of the wealthy family, and he quickly surpassed them in wealth. By the time he reached his 50s, he wasn't just a businessman. He was an industrial titan. Railroads, steel, banks. If you could invest in it, Lavenstein was likely already in it. But Lavenstein was no angel. Behind that polished exterior, there were whispers of questionable business dealing, shady investments, and an untrustworthy reputation. He was cold, calculating, and the man who always kept his cards close to his chest. Some believe that he was always a few steps ahead of everyone, even when it came of his personal life. But when his plane took off on July 4th, 1928, Lavenstein's calculated life would take an unexpected and terrifying turn. It was supposed to be a simple flight, a routine business trip. Lavenstein, along with his personal pilot Captain Verheiden, his secretary Mr. Pierce, and an engineer Mr. Schultz, were flying from Croydon, England to Brussels, Belgium. But somewhere over the English Channel, something went horribly wrong. But what? What really happened then? Now imagine this. You are in a small plane, cruising through the sky, when suddenly there's a loud bang. Captain Verheiden looks back and realizes that Lavenstein is gone, vanished, into the air. The door to the rear compartment was wide open. But the question is, how did Alfred Lavenstein fall out of the locked compartment while the plane was flying at 3,000 feet? Just think about that. How does someone disappear from the moving airplane? And why was nobody able to stop it? Some say Lavenstein must have somehow fallen out of the plane, but there's no evidence that he even opened the door himself. No wreckage, no bodies were ever found. His disappearance is as mysterious as it is impossible. Was it an accident or something far darker. Let's explore the possibilities. Was it an accident, as Captain Veriden and the other initially claimed? Some believe Lavenstein was sitting in the rear cabin, and the plane had suffered some mechanical failure. But if Lavenstein had somehow been ejected from the plane, would the pilot not have noticed the loss of such a key passenger? That's what doesn't add up. For another, Lavenstein was not in the position to simply fall out by accident. The compartment he was sitting in was locked from inside, and even if the door was opened, the idea of him falling out of the locked compartment while cruising at 3,000 feet is hard to believe. So, what if there's more to this story? What if Alfred Lavenstein wasn't accidentally thrown from the plane? What if, instead, he was pushed? Imagine the scenario. Lavenstein, a powerful businessman with many enemies who would do anything to see him gone. Could someone have sabotaged the flight? Or worse, could someone on the plane have murdered him in a cold blood? Lavenstein was known to meet enemies throughout his career. There were whispers that his business practices were less than ethical. Some speculated that his rivals in the banking and railroad industry may have had a hand on his disappearance. But here is the kicker. The plane wasn't searched throughout until hours after his disappearance. By the time anyone suspected foul play, it was too late to investigate the crime scene. Could his disappearance have been staged by someone on board? Then, there is a theory that Lavenstein didn't fall at all. What if, and stay with me here, what if he staged his own death? Imagine this: a man of his wealth and power, with resources at his disposal, might have been planning to escape. His business dealings were growing increasingly tense, and the pressure to maintain his empire was mounting. Perhaps, just perhaps, Lavenstein wanted to disappear, to fake his death and start fresh somewhere far away. Here's what gets interesting. In the days leading up to the flight, Lavenstein had been making strange arrangements. Huge sums of money were transferred into offshore accounts, almost as if he was preparing to vanish. Could he have been planning a secret escape from the very start? And then, just days before his disappearance, Lavenstein's wife, Mary, received a calm letter from her husband. Was it a farewell letter? A letter written by a man preparing to disappear from the world? The plot thickens. Reports even surfaced about the man, strikingly similar in appearance to Lavenstein's, seen in various parts of Europe shortly after the disappearance. But was it the real Lavenstein himself, or someone else entirely, using his identity? Alfred Lavenstein's disappearance remained one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. Was he the victim of a cold-blooded murder? Did he fall from the sky? Or, as some suggest, did he plan his own vanishing act, leaving the world of wonder where he went and why? What do you think? Was Lavenstein a victim of his own empire? Or was he a master of deception who faked his death to escape the chaos of his life? comment below with your theories, because the truth behind this case might never be found. Until next time, keep questioning the world around you, and don't forget to subscribe for more chilling mysteries that still defy explanation.